Hello, I am live here in the Self Care Challenge. Let me know if you are seeing me live or on the replay. And if you're seeing me on a Facebook business page or in a YouTube group, you can come and join us in the free group, which you can find the link for that in the comments. So excited to have you here with us for our self care challenge in February. And happy Valentine's Day to you. So I have to. I'm also just for the people in the group. I am going live with StreamYard, so you just have to give StreamYard. I may not see your name if I see your comment and I don't say your name. I won't see your name until I go back into Facebook because I'm on StreamYard now, but I will see it then. So that's why. Um, Day two of the self care challenge. I Before I get started, I just want to say, just want to give you some insight into what's going on with me today. So, if you're new to me, I am a special needs mom. I have two kids. So, I have a daughter who's doing amazing at Mass Art, and I have a son who is also doing amazing, and he has some significant special needs, and he was up in the middle of the night for a little bit and he went right back to sleep, but I was up for a while. So I am a little tired today and I will be doing my own self-care challenge, my own self-care later on today by taking a nap, but I am, just a little bit out of it today. So that is what is going on with me. So yesterday we were looking at what kind of self-care we did. So I know some people may still be catching up with that and what self-care really is. And self-care is honestly, taking care of ourselves. And I think a lot of you are kind of scoring pretty well. So you're taking care of yourself in a lot of areas, which is great. And you can also think about what other things do you need to add for your self-care. So sometimes what happens is we fall into things for self-care because they're things we've always done, or we're avoiding feelings that we don't want to have, or it seems like it's something that would be satisfying, but actually it's really not. So this might be things like just binging on the Netflix show and eating the Girl Scout cookies at 10 p.m. at night, which we've all been there. We've all been there. We've all done that. There is no judgment on that. But sometimes we think of that as self care when really it's not necessarily that helpful for us. It doesn't even, if we tune into the moment, it doesn't really feel that good. Or we're just scrolling on Facebook and we're not even really seeing what it is that we're looking at. We're just kind of scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. We're like looking for something that's going to be exciting, something. So a lot of times we are doing these things. This happens with me with popcorn. So it seems like, oh, popcorn's going to be a great treat. And then I'm eating all of the popcorn and I'm not even really tasting it. So all of these things that we think are self-care, but really aren't. So yesterday we talked a little bit about the power of curiosity. And today I want to talk a little bit about using the curiosity to help us find what is the self-care that we need, and also some of the ways that we can use the power of our thoughts and how we're talking to ourselves as self care. So that's what we're going to do today on day two. And then on day three will be connection, because that's an important part of self care. Day four, I think, is variety, because that can be an important piece. We tend to fall into a rut and we're just always doing the same things. And then day five will be taking care of our body. So these are all different ways that we can do self care. So let's talk about how we can use curiosity to get out of the self care that we are currently doing that's not really serving us and get into the self care that will serve us. So if you're joining us, thanks for joining me. Feel free to lurk if you'd like to do that, or to jump in and join us. So, talking about how we can use curiosity for self care. So, we talked a little bit about curiosity yesterday, and then sometimes we have this need that for something like, oh, I just need it. It's like this kind of scratchy, itchy, closed in, like, I need that right now, right? That we sort of can't resist it. And then sometimes we have that comes along with curiosity. Like I have to find the name of that actor right now, or I have to have this thing right now, or whatever it is. And we're just kind of falling into that. And then there's also an expansive curiosity, which is I wonder what would be best for me right now. I wonder what it's like over there. And that feels a lot different, right? If you can just even take a second to put yourself in the space of, I need, and then take yourself in the space of, oh, I wonder. It's very different. And so that's one of the things that we want to use today for being able to shift ourselves from self care that doesn't serve us to self care that does. So, and the way that we do this is through the body. And I found this so interesting. Yesterday, I talked about, I'll post it, changing the brain habit. Yes. So I can't see your name, but thank you for joining us. So, what I talked about yesterday, the book that this is from is Unwinding Anxiety by Judson Brewer, which is fantastic book. I highly recommend it if you have anxiety. And one of the things he talked about is, our frontal brain here, which is like our modern brain that does all the problem solving, and our amygdala, which is the fear center of the brain, which is kind of our caveman brain, right? And so when we get anxious and when we get really stressed, or when we sort of get that I need, a lot of times our old brain, our amygdala will take over, and our frontal brain is just kind of offline. So we're not able to use that. We're not able to access that. So if you've ever been in the space of, I know what I need to do for my diet, or I know what I need to do for self care or for any problem, and I'm just not doing it, and I don't know why, because I know I'm a smart person. I know how to do this. Why am I not doing this? It could be this. It could be the fact that your amygdala is taking over and it's taking your frontal brain offline, and you literally can't use it for thinking. So that's why. So it's not your fault. It's just the way our brains are wired. And I'm going to talk a tiny bit today about how to get around that and how we can get out of that mode. So we're in that mode where our amygdala is just kind of taking over, or we're in a space where we're kind of just zombie eating and we're not even aware of what is going on. To get out of that and to use our frontal brain, we can't actually think our way out of that. We can't think our way out of it. The way out is through the body, which is so interesting. So, and what you can do, what he talks about with this, and he has an app that goes with the book too, that he's used with a lot of people, is when you're in that space, is you actually just have to drop into mindfulness in that moment. So even just right now, can you just drop into mindfulness right now into your body? So can you feel, what are your feet touching anything? Can you feel what your feet are touching? Can you feel where there's pressure on the soles of your feet, if the soles of your feet are on something? Can you feel what is against the back of your legs? Can you feel what's going on in your body right now? So, even just bringing yourself into the body. And then, if you're feeling sort of anxious or whatever is going on, just feeling where is it living in the body? And also, how is your body doing? How's the left side of your body doing? How is the right side of your body? Is the left side colder or warmer than your body? Is the right side colder or warmer? And you might think, like, you're not really used to thinking about my left side is warmer than my right side or whatever, but that gets you to tune into your body. That's why he does that. So just really thinking, getting in tune with what is going on in your body at that moment. And then also offering yourself some kindness. So just saying to yourself, may I be well, may I treat myself with kindness, and thinking those kind of kind thoughts and just tuning into your body without judging it and without judging any of the sensations. And then you can ask yourself, what am I doing right now? And is it really satisfying? And so sometimes that can be really helpful if you really bring yourself right into that moment without judging. So if you start to shame yourself or to judge yourself, then it's not really going to work. So without any judgment at all, to accept whatever is going on and then to ask yourself if that is really satisfying and what you really need. And he has many examples in the book of just different people there was one man who had a lot of anxiety and was overeating every time he was anxious. So he really gained a lot of weight and really struggled with this and couldn't get out until he started to kind of tune into his body and to recognize, okay, I'm having this thought, this anxious thought, and that's making me want to eat. But when I tune into my body, the eating is really not satisfying and it's not making the situation go away. My brain thinks that this is what it can do to solve it, but it's really not working. And so once he started to make that connection, it really started to change everything. So that's how one of the ways that you can kind of get out of that thinking. Then you can also um, so then you can also do some other things, some other self-care things for yourself, just in terms of your thinking, either in that moment or at other moments as well. So, for example, can you list 10 things that you're grateful for in the last 24 hours, or even three things? Like maybe 10 things is a lot for people. Can you find three things in the last 24 hours that you're grateful for? And then if you keep doing that each day, are there three different things? Because yeah, I would always get stuck in that. Well, I'm always thankful for my kids. I'm always thankful for my husband. Three different things every day that you're thankful for. Can you write down some accomplishments that you've had? So think about every accomplishment that you've done, so many things that you've figured out from the time that you learned how to sit up and to walk, all of these different things that you accomplished. Even in the last 24 hours, there are amazing things that you've accomplished. Because so often we are thinking things like, I can't do this. This is overwhelming. You figured a lot of stuff out. Okay. Things about yourself that you like. So there are always, everybody has things, and this might be uncomfortable for you at first. What are things about you that you're like? Do you like that you're outgoing? Do you like your eyes? Do you and notice what comes up. So are you feeling like, oh, I can't talk about myself like that? Nobody has to see this but you if you feel uncomfortable with that. But think about those things about the thoughts that we're thinking to ourselves, because some of the times that is how we end up in that place where we're just spinning and we're not actually making progress because we're thinking thoughts that are stress producing. I can't do this. I'm no good at this. You might be shaming your body. You might be shaming yourself. You might be saying this is too hard, things like that. So, and we don't want to necessarily just layer on top things that are untrue affirmations on top of those, but we want to understand those things and also to start to look at the other side of things. So, this is a big topic, but those are some three activities that you can do that can help to bring more self-care to your life in the moment, that are really quick and that don't cost any money. So that's one of the ways that you can kind of get out if you're sort of stuck in negative self-care that's not serving you, how to get out of that. But also some little exercises that you can do throughout the day, or maybe you add it to your morning, that can begin to change your brain habit. And so those are easy ways to do self care. Lots of other things too, like setting boundaries, saying no to people, all of that. But that's a whole other big topic, and I'll just cover those three things. So I will post the homework post later, and also what the prize will be. I think that will be coming tomorrow, and how we will do that, which may be a little bit different. And I look forward to seeing what you all think from the homework and from yesterday. All right.